Steven Schumacher has been at the wheel for 100 matches, and what a 100 matches it has been. Some absolutely incredible moments over the last 100 games. And here's a stat for you. No manager in the club's history has a better win percentage after a century of matches. And of course, he guided Argyle back into the championship after 13 years as well. But Steven Schumacher, he won't be happy with just 100. He will be very much hungry for more success here at Home Park. Good afternoon. Welcome to Argyle TV. I'm Erin Black, and Steven Schumacher this afternoon heads into his 101st game in charge of the club against one of the in-form sides here in the Championship. So lots to look forward to this afternoon. Middlesbrough have won 8 of their last 10 matches and were in Devon just a couple of days ago, in fact, coming from behind to beat Exeter City and make it into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Today, though, is not going to be an easy one for them. Argyle, of course, as I'm sure you'll know, have had some injury problems up front, and they'll be looking to bounce back from that defeat at Ipswich Town last weekend. A 5th win of the season for us would certainly go down a treat. Now with us helping to guide you through the next hour as we build up to kick off is former Argyle Academy coach Aaron Cusack. Aaron, thank you for joining us again today. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Windswept, but I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I think and as long as it doesn't rain, because we are pitch side, of course, here again on Argyle TV, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I mean, how tough do you see this afternoon being? Because we know Middlesbrough are in good form.
Very tough, like every fixture in this division, Erin, and you know, not only that, the fact that they are, like you've already alluded to, they are in form. They had a setback last week, but 8 wins of the last 10 fixtures just showcases the stability they've now got. Clearly, they're starting to kick in. You know, Michael Carrick's got them playing well, and it's going to be a tough afternoon. So as long as we can apply to the best of our ability, we'll have to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, and we went up against Ipswich last weekend, which was always going to be a difficult challenge. We know how good Ipswich are at the moment. And, you know, although the result didn't go our way, I think for all intents and purposes, everybody actually very pleased with the way Argyle performed.
Yeah, and at the minute it seems to be that the performances don't quite match the outcomes, and that seems to be disappointing for everyone, because it sounds like week in, week out we're a little bit, you know, repetitive. It's a bit like Groundhog Day, where we're playing well and we're not getting the returns we perhaps deserve. But that's what happens when you go up a division, and you know, if we can try to limit the number of opportunities we give to opponents, then that should hopefully, you know, limit the number of the goals that we concede.
Yeah, I mean, opportunities maybe, you know, slightly better for our opponents this afternoon, because we have had a couple of injuries coming into this game. I mean, you know, could that be a problem today?
Naturally, when you lose players who are in form, you know, Ryan sadly is injured his hamstring. He got back to scoring ways prior to last Saturday's fixture against Sheffield Wednesday. But, you know, like that's what a squad's for, Erin. A squad is there. They've got a squad that's good enough to compete. And when those players are called upon, that's what they're there to do. You know, they're professional athletes. They're there. They prime all week. They get ready, and you know, thankfully today that there are players ready and they've got to take their opportunities. Yeah,
well, I mean, you know, this is a perfect opportunity to take those opportunities for, you know, players like Ben Waine, for example. I mean, we'll have a little look at the team that Steven Schumacher has chosen this afternoon in just a second, but where there are injuries, it's not like Steven Schumacher is short of players to fill those spots. They will be, you know, gunning for a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at recent form, with Hardy scoring and Bundu scoring on his first league start at home, they're now lost for a few weeks. So therefore, you know, you've got Ben in the wings waiting. He's been training really well. Now, when we look at his stats, I think of the 4 starts he's had this year, he's scored 3 goals, you know, so it's not like he's yet to break his duck. He's scored goals, he knows where the net is, and he's very capable. And, you know, one thing that will be important today is to not isolate him.
Yes.
He's a different type of player to Ryan. He's not a runner in behind. He's more of a poacher. He's more of a connector. So it's important that, you know, the wide forwards in particular get closer to him to bring him and the unit into play.
Got it. Well, let's see the side that Steven Schumacher has put up then for this afternoon, which of course will be slightly different to the one we saw last weekend. It's on screen for you now, and it consists of Michael Cooper, of course, back in goal for us in the number 1 shirt. We also have Barley Mumba, Jordan Houghton, Dan Scarr, Morgan Whittaker, Mikel Miller, Lewis Gibson, Finn Azaz, Ben Waine, Luke Cundle and Kane Kesler Hayden. And on the subs bench for Argyle, Connor Hazard, Macaulay Gillespie, Julio Plegathuelo, Matt Butcher, Joe Edwards, Callum Wright, Tyreek Wright, Adam Randall and Freddie Asaka. I mean, nice to see Freddie Asaka there on the subs bench, Aaron, for sure.
Absolutely, and you know, believe it or not, I think he's been playing really well for the 18s. Of course he has. He wouldn't have been selected for the first team squad, and, you know, exciting young player. He's already impressed early stages of the season in the early cup games, etc., and done really well. So he's there to be called upon if needed at any time in the game this afternoon. So, you know, a local boy, and no doubt will relish this opportunity if he gets afforded to him.
Certainly big shoes to step into if he does, you know, get the chance to come out at some point during the day. But I mean, what an opportunity, and I think it's obviously credit to the way he plays, and you know, I guess the way he's able to handle himself, you know, amongst a team of, you know, much older players, because he is just so young, isn't he?
And it's the infectiousness of youth, really, Aaron. He'll come on and just play a game of football. He won't be fazed by the occasion. We saw that earlier in the season. He just played like he was playing football with his friends, and that's why he plays so fearlessly. And he's got that little bit of injection of magic that people get on the edge of their seats. They want to see him create something, and you know, I think he could be called upon today if the game needs a situation where we might be chasing it. You know, we could see his introduction.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, looking at the lineup we have, initially it is going to be the forward lineup that's going to be grabbing a lot of the attention from fans today, isn't it? I mean, how do you expect it to go formation-wise?
Well, I mean, they'll stick to the back 4. You know, Jordan Houghton is coming for Adam Randall, so like for like, you know, swap there. Jordan and Adam have both been playing really well this year. And with Morgan Whittaker and Barley Mumba, who plays inverted players, so Whittaker on the right, Mumba on the left. As long as they, like I've already alluded to, don't isolate Ben Waine and get close to him, they can unlock Middlesbrough, because Middlesbrough are certainly breachable. They're vulnerable at the back. They've conceded more goals than they've scored this year, even though they're in form, but they're likely to concede. And we're good at creating chances. We're not as clinical as we would like to be at this stage, though.
Yeah, and I suppose with the, the injuries kind of forcing, this slight change in lineup, Middlesbrough, in their research of Argyle may not necessarily be expecting what we're putting out today, in terms of all they might have been expecting Hardy initially, they might have been expecting, Bundu, but with someone like maybe Osaka and Wayne, it could be a little different for them.
Yeah, when it's the unknown, it brings uncertainty. Players don't quite know what to expect, especially from someone from Freddie if he does get his moment. But for me, what's important today is that they try to press the back line and get the back line to drop, to invite spaces, for the likes of Kundal and Az to get on the ball. That's where they're really exciting, and around that kind of central area. Yeah. So for me, Jordan Houghton's got a big part to play. If he can get on the ball and he can encourage the midfield line to come towards him, with Ben Way getting the back line to drop, that will create gaps in between.
Got it. And, of course, Caden Kessler-Hayden as well, Luke Kundal, they're also names that have been impressing for Argyle as well.
Absolutely, and there's goals all over the pitch, Erin. There's goals and there's assists and there's key contributions. And, when you look at the likes of Kundal in particular, 3 goals, 2 or 3 assists. Azaz, a couple of goals and a couple of assists as well. Yeah. Morgan Whittaker. So it's very, very varied and shared. Yeah. And that's nice to have, especially when you've got a few injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see who we're up against then this afternoon. Of course, it is Middlesbrough, and this is their starting 11. We've got Sendyeng, Rav Vandenberg, Dale Fry, Hayden Hackney, Isaiah Jones, Johnny Howson, Paddy McNair, Josh Coburn, Matt Crooks, Lucas Engel and Sam Greenwood. And on their bench, Tom Glover, Daniel Barlaser, Matt Clark, Emmanuel Latte-Leith, Morgan Rogers, Alex Gilbert and Fernie Steele, Samuel Severa and Alex Bangura. I mean, anyone there that's kind of jumping out to you, Aaron, that we need to be looking out for?
Well, I think, there's a couple of ex-Premier League, players in there who've played at the highest level, but Hayden Hackney, I think, is a very industrious player for them. I think he's got the most carries in the squad in terms of getting the ball and running towards the opposition's end. He's got a couple of goals, a couple of assists as well. So Isaiah Jones as well is a very he'll play on the flank, I'd have thought. So he's someone who's very creative, who likes to run beyond players, lots of pace. So him and Mikael Miller, I think it'll be a good battle.
Okay.
And I think the captain, Johnny Howson, I think he'll just sit in there. He'll break up play. He'll orchestrate it. Michael Carrick wants them to play football. So he's going to want them to build the play, dictate possession. So they're going to try and play a very possession-based kind of philosophy today.
And of course, they're coming in off a loss, but prior to that, winning 7 games. So they've got a little bit to prove, but otherwise sitting quite comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, they got beat last weekend, and that was the first defeat, I think, in 4 or 5 games. Won 4 of the last 5, is it? Or 8 of the last 10. So go see last week as a blip. They're going to want to respond. But the one thing, they've not been here for a long time.
Yes.
So this is a different environment for them. They've travelled a long way. They've come down to the other end of the country. You just little things like that. I know they were here midweek, but little things like that can sometimes play into the advantage of the home crowd.
And also them being over in Exeter, midweek, that's 2 trips. All the way down
so
to
just
Devon
little things like that. Just sometimes play, and football does have moments and circumstances, and it's such a funny league. It's such an enigmatic league. Everyone beats everyone, and let's just see what unfolds.
Absolutely. Well, Argyle, on the other hand, they are coming into today's game after suffering their first defeat in 3 weeks, and that was away to Ipswich just last weekend.
Randall and Hayden keeping up with him. Ball switched across towards Chapman, flicks it up, tries to get the ball over top lane towards half of Hurst, who knocks it past Cooper, who just about keeps that out. Just about there. Kundal out towards the right hand side and finds Whittaker. Moves in onto his left foot, gets a shot away, curls it into the top corner. What a finish by Morgan Whittaker. It's picked up by Kundal, looking to set through. Here's Hardy out towards the right. Whittaker with a first time drive straight in towards Latsky. Sends it over the top to Hurst. Towards the right hand side with Hutchinson, scoops it over the top, looking for Broadhead, brings it down, across comes Kessler-Hayden, still here is Broadhead, twists, turns, can he get the shot away, still going, he gets the shot blocked by Gibson, handball appeals, it's cleared away by the Argyle man. In comes the corner from Davis, Fleckdall's gone all the way through the sea of bodies, oh he's beating Cooper, and Ipswich before the break equalise. Davis looking to send the ball forward towards Hurst. He's got away from the scar. He's in. Here is Hurst. 1-on-1 and scores. Ipswich 2, Argyle 1. is. Fizzes towards the back stick. Yes. Header on by Scar. Hlatke pushes it away. We could see from our angle that was diving into that corner. Being patient on Argyle. Whittaker pokes it through to Bundu. Back to Whittaker again. Tries a shot. Falls in towards the path of Edwards and is saved by Václav Hlatke. Surging forward here does the Ipswich captain. Urged to shoot as well. He's got option on the left-hand side. Davis plays a low cross in. Forced to Harness. Blocked by Hayden. But it's turned in the second time by Harness. Towards Whittaker on the left-hand side. Gets the cross in towards the middle. It's evaded Wayne because it's been flicked over by Edmondson. Still alive with Mumba. Twisting and turning. Can he get the low ball in? He can towards Joe Edwards and it's turned in. And Argyle have another goal back.
Now, I mean, there were lots of talking points from that game, Aaron. You mentioned before, it sometimes feels a little bit like Groundhog Day with the talking points that we're having. But do you think that loss will have hurt a little bit more, just, you know, knowing how good Argyle were?
I think every loss hurts, to be honest, Aaron. And I think what's particularly disappointing is they know, from looking back at it, they knew that game was almost there for the taking. Yeah. As good as Ipswich have been this year, lots of plaudits from the Ipswich fans saying, you know, Argyle the best team that they've seen. They've come up and given us a good run for our money. But the manner of what was really positive is the quality of the chances that we created. Yes. It's not just huff and puff in the hope that we are genuinely opening teams up. So we know that that's a regular thing. It's just trying to convert more consistently. There was a moment with Bundu. We know that you know, on another day that changes the complete dynamic of the game. Yeah. But it wasn't given, and they have to react. And you know, Mumba, we're really disappointed with the own goal that he scored. But it's just those bits, and they are circumstantial. And the good thing is we are capable of giving any team in this league a run for their money. And it, you know, football is a funny game in that you can lose form, be playing well and not winning. Yeah. And not playing well and winning, you know, yes. and we just need to kind of get a run of games where we can maybe go back to back with a couple of victories and then push on from there. Yeah,
I mean, Stephen Schumacher, you know, came out and said that he thought the side was outstanding in that performance, and it was a game, you know, going into it on paper, even though we did lose, you know, it is amazing, like you said, that Ipswich really acknowledged just how much Argyle were able to challenge them. Yeah, and
obviously they went toe-to-toe last year. You know, we favoured in terms of the league championship and came up with them, and they've had an incredible start to the season, so take your hat off to them. But the fact that, you know, Argyle are valued in this league, they're not just here to make up numbers. Yes. People are taking note of how well they're playing. And it's just, like we've already alluded to, just trying to find that consistency of maybe going, you know, 4 or 5 games without a defeat. Yes. Without maybe conceding too many goals, and then that's when it starts to build that reassurance and that belief.
I mean, there's still a long way in the season to go, so plenty of time to kind of unlock that moment that we want to see. And of course, Stephen Schumacher was frustrated after that game, despite the praise for the players. But what is he expecting going into today?
Try and be organised, try and be confident, and try and be us. I think that's our best way. I think we showed on Saturday against Ipswich that when we get the game plan right and when we commit to what we're trying to do, then a game with a decent team, we want to be more than that. We want to try and be a bit more clinical with the chances that we get, and stop the errors that cost us silly goals. So that'll be the message for Middlesbrough. Make sure we're aware of their threats, but don't forget what we're good at.
What you've just said there about, you know, the plan and it working and all of that, I suppose you must be pretty pleased with the fact that it has just been pretty much consistent the whole season so far. I mean, what are we, 13 matches in? Performance-wise, it's been right up there, which is, you know, what you can ask for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but we want more points, so performances are great. I think the lads have gone into the season with no fear. We've played with confidence. We've had one game where we felt that we let our own standards drop, and we got punished for that on that night. The rest of the games we've been brave and got after teams. We've tried to play an exciting style of football. I think we're creating enough chances. Now, the next bit is, can we score in them big moments? We feel as though in the big moments in the games at the moment we're coming on the wrong side of it. So the big moment on Saturday was the decision that the referee didn't give right at half time, and then we go down, they get a corner from that, and we make a big mistake, like Barley scores an own goal and it's an error. So it's a huge turning point of a 5-minute period that we've come out of it on the wrong side. So we need to flip that if we can, keep the performances going. It's the only way we'll get better results if we keep playing as well as we are. And then when we get our chances, like we had 3 or 4 big chances in the second half on Saturday, we should have gone 2-1 up. We had a chance when it was 2-1 to them, and that's the difference in games. We need to capitalise, and then if we can, as I say, we'll be okay.
Obviously, 2 players who have been scoring are Ryan Hardy and Mustafa Bundu. Both came off in the game against Ipswich. Can you give an update on kind of where they are at the moment and what's up?
Yeah, so they're both unavailable for this weekend. They both got grade 2 hamstring strains, which is a bit of a blow. We felt Ryan's might have been worse because Ryan is still quite sore with his. Mustafa is moving a little bit better. He's got a bit more range and a bit more power through his hamstring, so touch wood, he won't be too long. But as Gareth always says, that he'll try and treat the player and not the scan, and just get their rehab in order accordingly and get them back on the pitch as soon as possible, because obviously they're 2 big players for us, 2 centre forwards, so we're going to be light in that department, but be an opportunity for someone else to step in and take it.
Just to finish on Middlesbrough, the opponents, as I said at the start, they're playing really well. I think they've won 7 out of their last 8 or 8 out of their last 9 maybe. Got a win in midweek down in Devon as well. Is this the Middlesbrough that maybe everybody was expecting right now after their slowish start by probably what's expected for them?
I think so, yeah. I think obviously they had quite a big turnaround, the players, from what they had last season. They lost a few big players for them, lads who scored goals, and yeah, it took a little bit of time, I think, for their team to gel. Nobody expected them to be bottom of the league when they were, but you could see by looking at their squad, and I remember reading Michael's comments when they were losing them games. He was saying that the performances are good, they're just not coming on top of them big moments, so probably similar to how we're feeling. And then of late, they got themselves going really well. I went and watched them on Tuesday night. They didn't start the game great, but got better, showed the quality in the second half, and yet they're in good form. So once again, we know all the strengths that Middlesbrough are going to have, but we've got to try and be confident and be us as well.
Well, we know, Aaron, the players are working hard, as everyone will be able to see on their screens at home, and we've spoken about how, you know, results aren't quite reflecting performances at the minute, but I suppose the good thing about that, as we know, Steven Schumacher, 100 games in, he never quite seems to panic.
No, because I think he has like massive belief in what he's doing, along with the support of the coaching staff, and he has belief in the players as well. And when you've got a culture where people are buying into it together, you've got that harmony.
Yes.
And that brings collectiveness and togetherness. And, you know, they're on a journey together, and the whole club and all the fans are on it together. Yeah. We've had an incredible 12 months. And it's vital that we get behind the players at the minute, because we're in a difficult division and it's a bit of a sticky patch.
Yes.
But we're more than capable of winning football matches in this league. So, you know, may it long continue, and it's great to see.
How do you keep the confidence up, you know, amongst the players, amongst the club as a whole, when maybe, like you said, you're in a bit of a sticky patch? It's not necessarily going badly. It could be going a little bit better, of course. But, you know, what is the key to keeping everybody gelling? Is it kind of like what you said earlier, just making sure the players are happy, they're content with each other? And
yeah, I think so. I think it's probably just clarity and communication, Erin, and making sure that people are aware of what's expected of them, and you know, the players will know when they've played well and they don't get the results. Emotionally it's difficult, and they get, you know, they'll get annoyed that they keep losing certain situations, and you know, before long they don't want that to happen week in, week out, and they don't like the feeling of losing, and therefore they're the ones who can only influence it. Steven Schumacher could put the team out,
yeah, you're absolutely
but ultimately it's the players that are, you know, responsible for the outcome.
Yeah, and of course 100 games in charge as well. Just a quick word on that. It's very impressive, you know, the success that he's had. Yeah, incredible.
You know, just the fact that, you know, he's come in, looks like he belongs at this level, and you know, it's made us play, taken us to another level, and it's been fantastic, and may it long continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, stay with us here on Argyle TV, because there's a lot more build-up coming up next.
There's nothing like the start to a new season. The energy, the anticipation, the expectation. You know that buzz in the air. You can feel it. It's going to be our year. It's going to be different this time. It needs to be, for all of us. The emotions of the game get to us all. I know all about that. But whether out on the pitch, in the stands, or on the sidelines, we've all got to do better. at all levels. No more surrounding refs, no more abuse, no more intimidation, no more discrimination. Leave the pitch to the players. And those offensive chants, you know the ones. There's never a place for them in the game we love. That beautiful feeling at the start of a new season. Don't ruin it. Let's keep it that way, together. Whether you win, lose or draw, let's make sure that this season is different. We all do it for the love of the game. Let's show our pride and passion in the right way. We all love football, so let's protect the game.
Well, over on the side of Argyle women is an important couple of weeks coming up with 3 successive home matches. First up, they're going to be taking on London Bees on Sunday, and then they play Ilminster before a game here at Home Park against Cardiff on Sunday, the 19th of November. It is a very crucial run of games for them. I mean, even at this stage of the season, it's something that Ryan Perks and the team are relishing.
Before we talk a little bit about our next game against London Bees, I thought we'd just talk about the break in general. How was it for you, and how was it meeting the players after a week away?
Yeah, so obviously I went away and had a bit of time away with my family. Obviously the girls still trained. John led the session, so good feedback on the 2 sessions they had whilst I was away. And yeah, back into training this week, and like I say, we had some horrific weather yesterday to deal with, and the girls trained really well. Quality was very good. So yeah, really looking forward to getting back into the league action and hopefully getting some more points on the board on Sunday.
How much does the weather affect training sessions when you've got a certain game plan going into matches? Could it potentially just swing things out of control?
Yeah, to be fair, it does affect it. Obviously, you can't do walkthroughs as much when the wind's swirling and the rain's hammering down like it was last night. But there's still stuff you can put on which leads into your game plan, and that's what we've done. So, and the girls were fantastic. So, yeah, it does affect it, but like you say, you can still get returns out of any sort of session you put on.
It's been an extra week of training for you as well going into this match against London Bees. Talking about London Bees, obviously they're a side that currently have only managed to get 1 point in the league so far. What are you hoping to get from that match come Sunday?
Well, firstly, hopefully 3 points, but you can't underestimate anyone in this league. I think Bees have been close in games against teams in and around the bottom half of the league, so yeah, we expect it to be another battle, competitive game. The 2 games we had against them last year was no different. I think the first game last year we lost at home, probably dominated a lot of the ball and didn't take our chances in that game, and then obviously we scored a last minute winner against them away from home. So we've just got to take in the confidence we've played in the last 2 games against Portsmouth and take that into the game, and I'm certain we can come away with the 3 points and, like you say, the league table will look a little bit healthier.
Obviously, it's been a tough period for London Bees, and they are equally looking for their first win in the season. Having that extra week and having that extra bit of analysis, does that fill you with even more confidence? And looking at the way that they play, are you also equally confident that, compared to how we play, that we can get the result quick and easy? Yeah, so like you say, it gives you a bit more time to plan for games.
More importantly, we had quite a few players missing away to hashtag with injury, illness, a few players playing with niggles, and it's give them time to rest and get back fit. So pretty much got a full squad to pick from, bar Rosie and Jade away with the Navy. Yeah, pretty much a full squad of the players available. So like you say, we'll go into it with our game plan, and like you say, we can't take any team for granted, like I've just alluded to. We've done that last year away to Crawley. They hadn't won a game and they beat us 2-1. So just highlights that and just reiterate that to the players that we've got to be on our best form to pick up any points in this league.
Obviously, we don't like jumping ahead and looking at matches after the most recent one that we've got against London Bees, but it has been announced that we've got Cardiff at Home Park. How excited are you to be back here playing in the Theatre of Greens?
Yeah, it's, like I say, every time we play at Home Park, it's a good occasion. The girls enjoy playing here, us as staff enjoy playing here, and like you say, it always draws in a bigger crowd, and that spurs the girls on. And like you say, in our last game at home park last season. We had Cardiff as well, and come away with a victory in the Cup. So, yeah, like I say, don't want to jump the gun because we've got an FA Cup game in between that as well. So, but yeah, we'll be looking forward to playing back at home park, definitely.
And tickets for their game tomorrow at Coach Road in Newton Abbot are still available, and you can get them for just £5 with under-16s going free. So if you've got the time, please do go down and support Argyle women. For the game at home park, do keep an eye on socials as well. That's at Argyle WFC, and they'll have all the details on that game in due course. Right, so let's turn our attention then back to home park today and this afternoon's game, which is actually just the third time that we've seen Middlesbrough in the last 30 years. Some good and bad memories over the previous meetings. Hopefully today we can store one in the good category, and there's more build-up to come right after this.
Let's get it poppin', I'm looking away. Go tell mother I'm cooking the game. Flow like water bubbling up where you want me to make. Taking you back in the day, feeling immaculate, mate. Action packed back to back while you yapping away. I got a knack to react, but I'm packing a grace. Up to the max with a fact, let me grab the space. I had a map the place, who got a laughing face? Long and strong, looking like a stack full of hate. It goes on and on, way to the back of the bank. This phenomenon's on, I don't even have to say. I'm where I belong, this not back in the, you know. I go where I wanna, a fair warning for anybody with hair on them. You can't stop me, it gets sloppy.
Michael Carrick became Middlesbrough manager just over a year ago, and it's been an impressive 12 months for him. He feels... Oh, hello, Pete. Do you want to hold an umbrella for me in a minute? Because that would be... OK, we'll sort that out. Let's get to this VT, and then Pete can be my umbrella man. It's been an impressive 12 months for Michael Carrick, and he feels his rejuvenated Middlesbrough side are beginning to find their feet this season.
Yeah, I've been impressed, kind of what we expected. You know, we have got a good squad, and I think the number of injuries and illnesses at times when we suffered and that we're still suffering from would test the squad, and it has tested us. But the boys have came through so far very, very well, and everyone's played their part, and everyone's been ready when we've needed them, and that's the beauty of having a good squad. You know, there's some really, really good players that we can't choose from at the moment. But we've got some really good players that have stepped up and give us different options. So I'm lucky that we've got that choice, because it could easily not be there. That's the beauty of having a good squad. So at the moment, yeah, we got to keep pushing. We got to keep getting better. We got things to improve on. But at the moment, the boys are doing really well.
Looking ahead to the Plymouth game, what kind of challenges do you think Plymouth will set you?
They're a very dangerous team. They've had some really big results, scored a lot of goals. So yeah, it's a tough place to go. As I said, the results that show that, and the amount of goals. So we'll have to be really prepared for that, and it's a big challenge for us. But we look forward to it. We playing all right at this moment in time ourselves, and obviously winning football matches is a great feeling. That's the challenge, but we know it's a tough one going down there.
And I mean, obviously last Saturday against Stoke was a setback. So how important is it to get back to winning ways, given that you are on the fringe of the playoff race, if you like, that area of this table?
Yeah, it's not so much what happened last week. I think it's just what's next for us, and you know, we've had a decent run over the last 6 weeks or so, and it's a whole new challenge, you know, on Saturday. So we've got 2 games before the international break, and we want to finish them strong. And you know, hopefully it was a blip. If it was a blip, if not a blip, whatever it was last week, it's about the next game, and the boys are focused. You know, looking forward to it. As I just said, we understand it's a tough game, but you know, the boys will be ready.
Unfortunately, during that clip, you missed Pilgrim Pete's stint as an umbrella holder, but I'm pleased to say Aaron Cusack doing a very good job. Almost, I would say actually as good of a job as Middlesbrough manager, Aaron. I mean, talk to me about Middlesbrough.
Indeed. I mean, yeah, that's as close as me and Michael Carrick will get, I think, holding an umbrella. Yeah, I'm a big admirer of him, Aaron. I think he understands the game. You know, as a player, he was flawless in what he won with Man United in particular, and played for England. And you know, I like the way how he tries to set his team up. They're possession based. They want to dictate play. They like to move the ball short, but they like to move it quickly. Yeah. So, you know, if they get into rhythm, it'll be a difficult afternoon. We know that. We've got to make sure that we're compact. We've got to make sure that we're difficult to get past in particular. And if we give them too much time on the ball, then they'll open us up. But I'm a big admirer of what Carrick is doing there.
And of course, another thing he's got going for him at the same time as all this league action, they've just made it to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. I mean, we know what it's like to be in that position after last season. So he's also got, you know, a lot of opportunities to look forward to outside of the league.
Yeah, and that's an opportunity not only now to run deep in the competition, but to also give the opportunity for the squad to get used. Yeah. So that's really important, and you know what we want them to do is vary it, and he's going to want to do that. But obviously today we want to beat the 11 that we're up against. More importantly.
Absolutely. Well, let's get a reminder of the teams then, so we can refresh our memory and see who we are up against. But of course, as always, we start with Argyle, and Argyle's starting 11 consists of Michael Cooper in goal for us this afternoon, Barley Mumba. Jordan Houghton is wearing the captain's armband today. Dan Scarr, Morgan Whittaker, Mikel Miller, Lewis Gibson, Finn Azaz, Ben Wayne, Luke Cundle and Kane Kessler-Hayden. And on the bench for us, Connor Hazard, Macaulay Gillespie, Julio Pleguezuelo, Matt Butcher, Joe Edwards, Callum Wright, Tyreek Wright, Adam Randall and Freddie Isaka. You know, it's a slightly different team, Aaron, but it's a good team nonetheless.
It's a team full of creative opportunities, and when you look at Finn Azaz and Barley Mumba and Luke Cundle in their kind of goal-creating actions, you know, Finn Azaz is nearly averaging 6 a game, which is really impressive. So there's lots of variety in there, Aaron. There's lots of opportunities for players to connect. We're at our best when we work together, when we combine. We're very good at the intricate kind of links and things like that, and you know, on a greasy afternoon, on a windswept afternoon, that could really play into our advantage. And I think it's important that players anticipate knockdowns, ricochets, parries from the goalkeeper, because that might be the difference today.
Yeah, well, let's see Michael Carrick's chosen opposition for us on screen for you now. They are as follows: Senyi Dieng, Rav Vandenberg, Dale Fry, Hayden Hackney, Isaiah Jones, Johnny Howson, Paddy McNair, Josh Coburn, Matt Crooks, Lucas Engel and Sam Greenwood. And on their bench, Tom Glover, Daniel Belazer, Matt Clark, Emmanuel Latte-Laith, Morgan Rogers, Alex Gilbert and Fernie Steele, Samuel Severa and Alex Bangura. It's certainly not going to be an easy one for us, Aaron. I think it would be, you know, foolish to expect that, but I think everyone here today is going to be in for certainly a very good game.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, Middlesbrough have come, they're going to set up their shop and stall and want to put on a performance. They want to eradicate last week's defeat. They've got very accomplished footballers on the pitch today, and you know, it's may the best team win. Obviously, opening it is us, but you know, I'm sure it'll make for a very, very good game of football because both teams will want to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are getting closer and closer to kick-off here at Home Park now. So just a gentle reminder for you all watching that you can follow the game live with us here on Argyle TV. Match passes for streaming and audio commentary are available to purchase right now over on the website, pafc.co.uk. And coming up after this, we will be completing our build-up ahead of kick-off.
A shared passion, and commitment. 12,000 miles across the season. Unforgettable memories, past players, the goals. Waiting players, supporters, young and old. Capturing the moment, living the dream. Green Army, belting out the genocide. The stands, the shirts, the drum beats, the surging crowd moving as a giant wave. Crusaders, one and all. The Green Army.
Right, let's get a final word then from the Argyle camp ahead of this afternoon's game. This from first team coach Kevin Nanskville. He has been speaking with Charlie Price.
Nance, a couple of changes for this afternoon's game. Talk us through them.
Yeah, Wayne comes in. Obviously, Mustafa and Ryan have opened up an opportunity for Ben, which I'm sure he'll relish. And Jordan Houghton comes back in the team for Adam Randall.
On Wayne, obviously, whenever you have a little bit of adversity or trouble with a couple of players getting injured, it allows someone else to have the chance, and this is Ben's, isn't it?
Yeah, he's worked hard. He's deserved his chance this season. He trains properly every day. We've got a squad full of players that we all like and are all capable of playing in the starting 11. So today Ben starts.
Gaffer said in the week as well, the likes of Tyreek will come back on the bench, Freddie as well. Yeah. For Freddie, it's a good opportunity for him as well, just to be around the first team.
Yeah, great. Again, he's another one who's deserved his chance. He's trained really well this week. He's been playing well for the under-18s. Everyone knows what we think of Freddie, so it's a chance for him to gain some more experience of seeing what a championship game looks like, and let's see if he gets on the pitch.
Middlesbrough obviously in fine form. They were down in Devon in midweek as well. What sort of game are you expecting today?
Yeah, an open game. They're a good team, an experienced Premiership team really, let alone a Championship team. So we're expecting a really tough game. They're in a good reign of form, been on a winning run. So again, it's another Championship game that we're going to have to be at our very best to get something from. But we're confident. We're looking forward to it. We've trained well, so bring it on.
It's clear now. But I think the forecast is to be pretty windy and rainy. Yeah. So it's something to have to deal with, obviously.
Yeah, listen, that's what it is, isn't it? We're in November, so we should expect that, shouldn't we? So we'll cope with that, and hopefully the supporters gets entertained rightly.
Right, we're winding up to kick off now, so some final thoughts from you, Aaron. How do Argyle win it today?
They stick to their game plan first and foremost. I think they remain concentrating. You know, Middlesbrough, 80% of Middlesbrough's goals have come in the second half this season.
Yep.
So that's either the fact that they're, warming up and kicking into gear second half, or they're wearing teams down.
Yep.
And that's when fatigue sets in. That's when you lose concentration. So they've got to stay on it. They've got to anticipate. They've got to win their 1v1 moments. And move the ball like they know we can, and be more clinical. Be more clinical. I think we'll win more football matches.
Yeah, and it's it's certainly feasible as well that Argyle can win this game. I think it's very important that people don't come into it disheartened or anything like that. It's perfectly within Argyle's grasp.
They have to believe. If they don't believe they can win the game, there's no point turning up. They've got to believe that they can take it to Middlesbrough, create chances. We've got a better goal record than they have, and it's only 5 points to separate us, so it's not like it's a golfing class.
Yeah,
it's very similar situations. So if they can believe, there's no reason why they can't get a result.
If you believe, you can achieve. Let's look at some of the other games happening around the Championship now. Before we get to ours, of course, Leicester and Leeds played last night. Wayne Rooney is still looking for his first win as Birmingham manager against Ipswich. And Bristol City are without a manager. They host Sheffield Wednesday, and new QPR manager has his first match at Rotherham. So a lot of changes happening around the Championship at the moment. But we will, of course, be keeping you updated with how those fixtures progress throughout the rest of the afternoon as we keep tie with, of course, the score here at Argyle as well. So lots coming up, lots to look forward to. It is, of course, now very close to action here at Home Park then. So a reminder that if you haven't got your match passes, now is very much the time to do so. Head over to the website, pafc.co.uk. And for the first time in 13 years, it is Argyle against Middlesbrough, all in the company this afternoon of Brian McGlinchey and Charlie Price. Enjoy.